So I've been to Glyndebourne many times over my life. My family actually is based very close by, so I've been since I was a kid. I like responding to briefs, so the works have been a direct response to the context of Glyndebourne and to the experience of the gardens and the operas, and so it was great to respond to that, to the lawn and that view of vista across the downs with the ha-ha, and so that was. I've been thinking about how to approach that for a while, and so this opportunity to do the full array of 9 paradigms was fantastic. So at Glyndebourne this summer, it's a really ambitious show that has snowballed into something much bigger than we first planned. There are 9 forms. So there's a regular paradigm, which is the one that, the starting point, which is the one that came from the Francis Crick Commission, which I did in 2014 in King's Cross. And so that was the sort of the starting point. But through the research of that piece, we developed all these other geometries where they grow at different rates. So you've got the regular run grows at this sort of 10% growth rate, which is sort of forms this kind of elegant thing. Then there's one at a 5%, which is a slender. And then there's solid and structural. There's a broad, which is very radical and grows very fast, and is the most sort of radical in a form and the most sort of precarious, and kind of this idea of progress, the inevitability of progress causing collapse. The pieces are going to be displayed on the smaller of the 2 fields that adjacent to the ha-ha. You'll probably see these things for the first time in the interval, and obviously what you've experienced before that will obviously affect the way you perceive these objects. So I think they will inevitably be seen in different ways depending on what is on that night. So I wanted them really to have a very strong kind of domineering presence on that lawn and feel that kind of energy and vibrance between them, akin to sort of standing stones, like sort of, or henges, or sort of monoliths from the ancient world. So the harmonic series, all of these harmonic drawings and paintings are all about depictions of chords falling into silence. They're all visualizations of musical chords. For the cover, I've done my most painterly work I've ever done, which I was trying to follow in the kind of tradition of because my parents have that whole set of the programs, and you seeing the spine on their shelf. It's really, there's clearly a very kind of strong tradition of a painterly approach to that. So I've been making these very colourful prints, or etchings if you like. They're kind of scratchings into paint, so they're still a sort of sculpting process. They're kind of quite cosmic, harmonic, abstract images. Very inspired by music, but also I did a residency in Nottingham University studying the early universe, and black holes and black hole mergers and ring down. So they're quite preoccupied by the ideas of black holes. The manifolds are 3-dimensional versions of the 2-dimensional drawings. So they take the same ratio of a 5:4, for example, and then we generate them on a computer, and then they're 3D printed and then vacuum cast in bronze. And these are really appropriate for Glyndebourne because essentially they're pictures of chords falling into silence. So you look down this thing, you see the spiral, but then from the side, time is moving downwards. And there's this sort of energy, as this sort of, it gets thicker as it dissipates, like a river. It's thin and fast at the top, and as the energy dissipates, it becomes fatter and slower, like a river. All describing the Western scale of musical chords descending into silence, and that sort of journey towards silence through the mathematical interference of notes. And there'll be 13 of these in the green room on these very brightly coloured sconces, and so we get a really nice dialogue between the works in the space. And then there's a 2.25 metre manifold at the end in front of the window. I'm genuinely really excited to see these pieces in situ because I think they're going to look great in the room.